welcome to the Northern Colorado Amateur Radio Club Monday Night TechNet. This is Kilo Alpha 6 Echo Tango Echo. I'll be net control for this evening's TechNet. Anyone wanting to check in, please call now.
Hey, this is KI-5 EEV in Fort Collins.
KI-5 EEV, how are you doing this evening?
Not bad, just heading over to Evans to pick up a 3D printer.
Those are fun to play with. Your first one, or you use them before?
This will be my first one. It's a Prusa i3 Mark II-S.
Yeah, you'll enjoy it. I have one sitting next to my desk and use it quite often for making miscellaneous parts and trying different things. Thank you for checking in. Anyone else wanting to check into tonight's TechNet, please call now.
This is KF4 DUS, Kilo Foxtrot 4, Delta Uniform Sierra, Horsetooth Mike checking in.
Good evening, Mike. How are you doing today?
Oh, I could be doing a lot worse, so I guess I'm doing okay.
That's always a good thing when a day could be worse, but it's not. Thank you for checking in. This is KA6ETE net control for this evening's NCARC TechNet. Looking for check-ins. Anyone wanting to check into tonight's TechNet, please call now.
This is Kilo Echo 0 Uniform, Juliet Whiskey, checking in, Terry in Loveland.
Hey, KE0 UJW, believe your name, you said your name was Carrie or Terry. How's it going this evening?
It is Terry, T like Tango, and going very well. Looking forward to tonight's net.
Good to hear. Thank you for checking in. Hopefully we get some more people checking in and get some good discussion going. Looking for check-ins. Anyone wanting to check into tonight's TechNet, please call now. Echo Tango, or Kilo Alpha 6, Echo Tango Echo. Net control for this evening's NCARC TechNet. Looking for check-ins. Anyone wanting to check into tonight's TechNet, please call now.
This is Alpha Echo Zero, Charlie Foxtrot, Ben, Fort Collins.
Hey, good evening, Ben. How are you doing today?
I guess just the same. Could be worse, but it's not.
That's always good. Anyone else wanting to check into tonight's TechNet, please call now. We'll go one last round before we start. This is KA6ETE looking for check-ins. Anyone wanting to check into tonight's in Northern Colorado Amateur Radio Club TechNet, please call now.
Oh, Jim. This is Kilo Zero, Romeo Bravo, with Kilo Zero Lima Alpha Oscar, Phil, and Luann in Loveland. How are you doing?
Doing good, Phil. How are you and Luann doing tonight? There was a doubling station. Get them in a minute.
Oh, we're doing fine. I had an early dinner and just kind of relaxing. I've been doing a lot of programming today, so my brain's kind of spent right now. Luann's still working on, odds and ends for Halloween.
Yeah, I spent a morning. I was out with Marty. We were testing for the Equinox Marathon this morning, seeing if we could get good coverage on the first part of the course for the new full marathon area, and I've been home doing remodeling work ever since. That's been the past 2 weeks, so I know how you feel being your mind fried and spent. Glad to hear you guys check in. Station that doubled with Phil. Can you please come again?
Whiskey 2, Mike, India, Charlie, Mark in Loveland.
Hey, Mark, how are you doing this evening?
Oh, I'm gazing out the window at all the happy little squirrels running up and down the cedar fence highway, climbing up in trees, chasing one another around, which I suspect is a prelude to making more little squirrels, and completely ignoring my live traps. So I'm very depressed.
I think all the squirrels left my yard and went to yours, because I have not seen any of my yard for about 2 weeks now.
Well, earlier today I counted 11 in my yard. Of course, they move around, so I may have double counted.
I would say at that point they're just there playing with you, running around your traps. Thank you for checking in. Anyone else wanting to check into tonight's TechNet, please call now. nothing, we'll move on. Hopefully someone has some questions for the net or topic they would like to discuss. I have not had a chance to think of anything or research anything. Been busy for the past week doing remodeling my house after a flood. So anyone have any questions or topics for the net, please call now.
EEV.
EUV, go ahead.
Other than field day, I still haven't done any more HF work, but from what I understand with AM or single sideband, the signal strength directly impacts the volume. And I was wondering if there was any standards for having a tagged signal so that you would have like a tone like similar to like a DC, like the 100 hertz tone or whatever that you transmit on FM to open up a repeater, to have that associated with different signals. So if you had multiple people on like an HF net, if it could normalize the volume between them based on that tag.
I'm not 100% sure, but fairly certain it would not have any effect on it. I know the difference between AM and FM is amplitude modulation and frequency modulation, meaning the louder you talk, the more modulation you get in the frequency. So having a set, so to say, PL tone type scenario wouldn't really affect anything. You would just more than likely hear something in the tone. Anyone else have a better description or more understanding?
MIC.
MIC, Mark, go ahead.
W2MIC. I have a partial observation, but not helpful. Many handhelds, and I'm thinking here of the older Yaesu FT50R and the more current FT60R, allow you to set a simplex frequency and require a particular tone. We'll just say 100 hertz for fun. And if there are a bunch of people talking on that simplex frequency, you will only hear those who are transmitting using the 100 hertz tone. That in turn means that you can have 4 or 5 different so-called private conversations going on. The bad news is, of course, that if somebody else over there is using 143 hertz and they are talking, they are, of course, blocking your radio, even though your radio is not going to play through their transmission. On HF, I don't recall ever seeing such a feature, but if there is such a thing, and I'm opening some manuals right now, it would be only one PL tone, and the PL tone would not be, that I'm aware of, in any way hooked to the volume or the equalization.
Yeah, that's similar to what I was thinking, but couldn't put it into words quite right. I know there's the different modulation types, so I think that has to do with it also, but yeah, it's not. I've never seen it on HF, and as far as my Yaesu, the 991, whenever I go to HF, it won't even allow me to change a tone frequency or set any type of transmit tone or receive tone.
I'm thinking through my ICOM 7300 manual, and I'm not seeing anything about tones on HF yet.
VEV. Thanks for looking into that. I guess I'm more wondering not so much for activating the speaker output like a squelch, but more that if you're on a net and there are 10 different users, they would all have 10 different tones, and that when your radio got a signal, or if one of them was talking at a time, it would boost it would try to normalize in the gain for that particular user, for the user. So if one signal is weak, it would bring it up. If one signal is too strong, it would bring it down, and hopefully the volume output would be more consistent. Just the individual tones is kind of a reference point. I guess maybe it wouldn't work, but a while back I thought of it, and not making as much sense to me right now, but I'll have to think it over some more.
Oh, I want the feature so badly I can taste it. Sure, I'm very familiar with talking on a net, and one guy's coming in at 20 over S9, and the other guy's coming in at S4. One guy's blowing me out of my chair, and the other one I've got my ear down to the speaker trying to hear what he's saying. Oh yes, I get it.
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely something you always got to. I'm always dealing with between turning my RF gain down if someone's real low and everyone else is blowing them away. You just turn the RF gain down a little bit to where I can't hear them, but then you can't hear them. Then try playing with the automatic gain control, which never seems to work quite like it's advertised to.
Same experience. The automatic gain control seems to do a wonderful job of normalizing the noise, not the signal. I'll have to play with it on the 7300 where I can kick in the DSP to clean up the signal and then see if the automatic gain control is going to work on what's left. Don't know. Interesting experiment.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting to play with. I've tried different configurations. I know I'm not familiar with the ICOM, but I know on the Yaesu, they give you I have the digital control where I can normalize all the frequency, the noise and atmospheric noise in that, and drown that out. And then the gain controls, it gives you 4 different options. You either have automatic, fast, medium, or slow. And it seems to work best on medium, and the auto doesn't work at all. I mean, it works, but by the time it goes through and senses everything, it's not very effective in my experiences.
Modes have that advantage on HF that you would get normalized volume from everyone?
Yeah, it would definitely be an advantage. Like Mark had mentioned, a lot of times you'll get someone coming in on an S3, S4 to where you can hear them, but you have your volume turned up, and then someone comes in with S9 or above, and you have to turn the volume down. Otherwise, they're blowing your eardrum out if you're wearing headphones, or they're blowing your speaker out. I mean, it definitely would be an advantage and something nice to get something that works good.
I see. Well, thank you for your feedback. I think that was my main question. Certainly good to talk about that. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for the question. Beginning there, you doubled with Mark. Go ahead.
W2MIC. it occurs to me there may be another approach. And now I've got a research project. Most manufacturers sell speakers, and the low-end, and they're all hugely overpriced. They match the fit and finish and the size of the radio front panel, so they sit next to the radio and they look like they belong there. But some of the higher-end ones, and I've been researching some of the ICOMs in the $300-400 range, have built-in DSP with bandpass filters, and I think I've seen that some of them have level control, and I'm outside my knowledge range, but that might be another place to look, is in, not in the radio proper, but what comes out of the radio, hopefully with most of the noise removed, then to go into a speaker that has its own level control, automatic level control. And I don't know if that exists. I may have been looking at the bandpass stuff, but that's another possibility. And then there are Heil, H-E-I-L, the famous microphone maker, just brought out an audio processor, and it might be instructive to look and see if that has automatic level control.
I don't have experience with any of them that you mentioned. When I do use my headphones on HF, I have a nice set of the JBL audio headphones, the full over-your-ear headphones that are noise-canceling headphones and everything. They do drown out more of the background noise and atmospheric noise, and you can have the volume lower and you can hear the weaker signals better without blowing your eardrums out on the strong signals. I know these ones do work to an extent. They don't raise the volume of the weak signal, but they do help drown out some of the noise level to where you can hear them better.
Here's you.
CF, Ben, go ahead.
I'm sort of wondering, why isn't carrier strength used to affect the audio gain at the last stage? Because if you know you're coming in at S4, why don't you just use that information to increase your gain on the final audio stage? And if it is S9 plus 20, just reduce it. Of course, it would be good if you tell this system what your noise floor is, so it doesn't louden the noise if that's coming in. But I don't know. Just throwing out something that doesn't quite make sense here. This is a easier CF.
Definitely a good question or additional there. That's something that can also be looked into to help. I know for me, for HF, I use a multi-band end-fed wire that's only about 60 foot long. So I get a lot of the signals I get a lot of strong signals, but I also get a lot of weaker signals that it's just due to my antenna, which trying to not really fight with it, but trying to get everything adjusted to where you can hear all the signals coming in the same does get tedious. And a lot of times if I'm on one frequency for a while and there's a group of people, I'll start playing around with all of the filters and everything else to get everyone in clear, but that always changes no matter whenever you change frequency or you start picking up another signal. You always have to play with them a little bit to fine-tune them. Alpha 6 Echo Tango Echo, net control for this evening's NCARC TechNet. Anyone else have any comments in regards to the HF question or any additional questions they would like to ask for the net? Please call. Or nothing. I know for me, HF is something that I'm always learning and playing with. Something I started to get into not long ago, about a year ago. Started getting into playing with HF and everything else. Spent a lot of time before that just on repeaters and then doing 2-meter simplex and all that stuff. But HF is definitely a different type of communication and a big difference in learning and the amount of stuff to learn to better your distance and receive signals and everything else. Definitely encourage people, if you don't use it, try it and learn it. It's definitely interesting, just the distance that you can travel with over the air without any type of repeater system. Do we have any additional questions or comments for the net? Please call now.
This is Alpha Echo Zero Golf Mike, George and Berthard, late check-in, and I do have a question.
Hey, Alpha Echo Zero Golf Mike, George, go ahead with your question.
Well, this is a radio question, but not a ham radio question. There is apparently digital AM and digital FM radio in the U.S. And I was wondering if anyone has used them. Maybe bought a new car that has a digital radio receiver. Just wondering.
I have heard about it. I have not looked into any of it or played with any of it. Anyone listening have any experience with digital radio in regards to AM, FM signals?
MIC?
W2MIC, Mark, go ahead.
Are we speaking here of digital satellite download radio, like Sirius?
No, this is a digital subcarrier modulated onto the regular AM or FM station. And on FM, it allows you to have separate sub-channels with completely different programs. And for AM, it gives you stereo sound, but no sub-channels.
That's similar to the way the digital over-the-air TV works. Like for Channel 9, you end up with 9.1, 9.2, all the way through, I think, 9.6. So you got 5 sub-channels to the one, or 6 sub-channels to the primary channel.
AE0CF comment.
AE0CF, Ben, go ahead.
I believe the FM standard is called HD radio for this, and I don't know about the AM one. Might be something similar, but yeah, it is exactly that. It is sort of like a subcarrier, and the digital data is on there. Yeah, I ended up stopped looking at this once I found out a lot of this is proprietary, and you need to buy special chips in order to decode it. I don't know what the original question was. I'm not sure what else, what information would be interesting to know about this. This is AE0CF.
GM.
AE0GM, George, go ahead.
I was interested in whether any of the local broadcast stations were using this technology. I wasn't thinking about trying to implement it myself. Back to net.
Yep.
I believe that was CF, Ben.
Actually, I have heard there are several stations, at least transmitting from Denver, that are transmitting HD radio. This is the FM side. I do not know about AM, however. I don't know. But yeah, definitely there are several Denver HD radio stations transmitting today. This is AE0CF. Let's go back to net.
And to add to that, I just did a quick search. Actually, KISS FM up here in northern Colorado broadcasts on HD radio on 96.1 is their HD broadcast. And if you go to the www.hdradio.com/stations/ I'm looking at Loveland, Colorado area, and there is a total of 9 HD radio stations broadcast over the air in this area. anyone else that has any questions or additional comments for the net, please call now. This is Kilo Alpha 6 Echo Tango Echo net control for this evening's NCARC TechNet. Do we have any additional questions, comments, or late check-ins for the net? Please call now.
Kilo Zero Alpha Romeo Delta, this is Ann from Fort Collins with a late check-in.
Hey, K0ARD Ann, your audio was very light on that. I don't know if you want to try again or give me if you have any questions.
I don't have any questions, but I'm curious as to why my audio is so light.
From my experience, could be a few different things. I don't know how far away the mic is from your mouth when you're talking, which could cause light audio. I have seen some people that accidentally program their radio as a narrow band channel, which the reduced bandwidth will decrease the audio also. Same with your on a narrow band channel broadcasting full width. It would be very loud. A couple things to look at and try.
Those suggestions, I have not changed anything from any previous transmission, so this is puzzling. I will look into it some more.
Yeah, definitely. I know, like on that transmission right there, to hear you clearly, I had to turn it up and then had to hurry up and turn it down as the tone squelch hit at the end, or the repeater dropping before it was very loud on the speaker.
MIC?
W2MIC, Mark, go ahead.
In addition, some radios have user programmable microphone gain.
Yes, that is another option there. I'd check a couple things and see if it improves or something got bumped out, or even if it's an older radio microphone get wore out. I'd start with checking the mic gain. If you can turn it up a little bit, try that and see.
K0ARD, thanks again for those suggestions. I'll go through and have a look at everything.
You're welcome. Thank you for checking in. We have any other late check-ins, questions, or comments, or something anyone would like to discuss for the net? Please call now. nothing. I'd like to thank everyone that checked in this evening and everyone for participating in the questions with your feedback and answers. A reminder, this Wednesday evening is the NCARC Club Net, starting at 6:30 with early check-in starting at 6 p.m., as well as the club picnic this Saturday in place of the monthly club meeting. Picnic will be held at Fossil Creek Park, located off of LeMay Avenue or off of Fossil Ridge Road. I believe right off of 287. Our picnic's going to be on the west side of the park. There's parking right there where you can park on the east side right off of LeMay and walk across the park. Look forward to hearing from everyone next week, and 7-3, have a good evening, and the repeater is now open for general use.
This presentation was brought to you by the Northern Colorado Amateur Radio Club. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.